Hello my friend, good to see you again. This is Miss Katherine Liu Bruce. Thank you for continued support of Christians Ministry, Biblical Precept Preaching Teaching Online, and Gospel Music Ministry. Today we will focus on the 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 1 to 44. The interesting topic, a godly wife Abigail with a fool husband Nabal. There are several implications that I wanted to apply in your life, and let us also learn together with the historical event and through the Nabal, Abigail, and David with the 600 young men social. What we can learn and gain the wisdom from above to deal with, live with each other in peace, and also help with us turn our mindset in the spirit that is life. What is the implication and application of 1 Samuel 25 verse 1 to 44? The first I want to point out is the deceitfulness, honesty, mendacity, and the lying tongue can result in corruption and destruction. By the way, if you have a Bible, you can open the 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 1 to 44. Let us discover the first implication. Nabal is a wealthy man, however, he practiced dishonesty. He pretended not to know of Dave, hurt, insulted, and refused to give it by said, "Why should I take my bread and the water and the meat I have slaughtered for my shears and give it to men comes from who knows well?" When David sent the 10 young men give a greeting to Nabal and asked for the giving blessing during the festival time. In the era, festival, a day of prosperity and celebration at shearing time, David and his men had been protecting the flocks and the possession of Nabal. In return of provision and payday had finally arrived. So David sent 10 young men sent a greeting to Nabal and asked him to give. But however, Nabal refused to give and even pretended that he did not know Dave. This is the result Nabal's corruption and destruction. Second implication, God is true provider and sustainer. It is God give riches and wealthy to mankind. He gives and he also takes away. When you are wealthy, practice cheerful giving. When you are wealthy, practice cheerful giving. Nabal's deceitfulness and uncharitable resulted him suffer a stroke and a heart attack. He was paralyzed, as 1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 37 to 38 indicate. His heart failed him and he became like a stone. But 10 days later, the Lord struck Nabal and he died. Historical event. The God is true provider and sustainer. It teaches us to be aware. It is God gives riches and wealthy to mankind. He gives and he also takes away. When you are wealthy, practice cheerful giving. And third implication that I want to apply is that regardless Jew or Gentile, male or female, God honor and reward individual good deeds. A foolish husband may result many hurts, yet a godly wife, like Abigail, can save a life. When David intended to kill Nabal and his servant, it's about 400 men put on the soul went up together with David. A servant immediately told Abigail that David sent messengers from the desert to give a noble greeting, but he heard insulted at them. Abigail honored and knew the Lord. She took 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 desert sheep, 5 seed of roasted grain, and 100 cakes of raisin, and 200 cakes of pressed figs, and loaded them on donkey. She told her servant to go on ahead, I will follow you. But she did not tell her husband Nabal. Abigail humbly asked David to forgive Nabal's offense and needless shedding the blood. David granted her and said, "Go home in peace. I have heard your words and grant your request." This is the result of 4th implication. Woman's fearful heart with godliness and contentment can be useful vessel in God's eyesight. One more time. Again, woman's fearful heart with godliness and contentment can be useful vessel in God's eyesight. Abigail is an intelligent and godly woman with a fearful heart to honor the Lord. She wisely acted and practiced cheerful giving. She was not only save herself, her servant, and also keep David from bloodshed and from avenging. After Nabal died, the Lord's favor came upon Abigail. She became the wife of David. The implication number 5 I want to point out is that bloodshed of innocence can be resulted by man's flesh and revenge. But a spiritual man, heart of God's own heart, listen to the voice of God, can cease warfare. David's emotion aroused by Nabal's insult and refused to pay. He called his 100 men, put on their sword, and intended to take revenge. Yet a voice of God through Abigail, which awakened David's heart to fear of the Lord and to fight the Lord's battle, rather than personal revenge. Therefore David said, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, who has sent you today to meet me. May you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed this day and from avenging myself with my own hands." This is indicated in the chapter 25, 32 to 3. So my friend, these 5 implications we could apply into our daily life. What is your position? Are you the Abigail, the godly woman and wife? Or are you a fool husband, Nabal? You are wealthy, but yet you practice deceitfulness and dishonesty. Remember, it's God give the riches and wealth. God give, He also takes away. Rather practice integrity, righteousness, and truthfulness. That fear of the Lord is beginning of wisdom. Fear of the Lord encamper surrounding those who protect him. The Lord protect those who put their hope in the Lord and fear of the Lord. And if you are the position as Dave, also encourage yourself. Fear of the Lord. Set your mind in spirit, not in flesh. Although out there a lot of people may arouse you emotionally, refuse, reject, or talk out of you, or do not acknowledge you, or denies you. With the 600 social young men together with you, are you the man blushing of innocence just because you are emotional, fleshly man? The fifth implication applied in your life. Blushing of innocence can be resolved by man's flesh and revenge. But a spiritual man, heart of God's own heart, listen to the voice of God, can cease the warfare. Dave listened to the voice of God through a woman, Abigail. Right away, sees the warfare and blushing of innocence. It's not necessary blushing to the innocence. If you set your mind in the spirit, listen to the voice of God, you will be a good leader of Israel. As Abigail talked to the Dave, what she said is that, please forgive your servants' offense. Abigail, a good wife, asked for forgiveness behalf of her husband, Nabal. What she said is, my Lord, let the blame be on me alone. Please let your servant speak to you. Hear what your servant has to say. May my Lord pay no attention to the wicked man Nabal. He is just like his name. His name is a fool, F-O-O-L. And the folly goes with him. But as for me, your servant, I did not see the man my master sent. She came alone, without talk to her husband. Immediately, she met David and bowed down and asked for forgiveness. Please forgive. Please forgive your servant's offense, for the Lord will certainly make a lasting dynasty for my master, because he fight the Lord's battle. Let no wrongdoing be found in you as long as you live. Abigail reminded David, you are the leader of Israel. Fight for the battle of the Lord, not the personal revenge. She prevent the bloodshed of innocence. Therefore, David gave a praise to the Lord immediately. Praise be to the Lord in the verse 32 to 33. Oh, praise be to the Lord. David be awakened. The God of Israel who has sent you today to meet me, may you be blessed for your good judgment, and for keep me from bloodshed this day, and from avenging myself with my own hands. So if you are the Dave position, you need listen to the voice of a God, or never neglect the voice of a God through the woman. God may send you Abigail, so many Abigail surrounding you, remind you, cease blushing of innocence. You are the leader of Israel. Spiritual man, listen to the voice of a God. Set your mind in spirit, then you may save the life. You may fight the battle for the Lord, not for your personal revenge. Protect yourself. protect your country, protect your people, and fulfill the will of the Lord, not yours. My friend, may this chapter and implication will inspire you, give the wisdom from above to deal with outside door and protect your nation, protect your country, protect your people. Once you listen to the voice of God, and may God also send you Abigail, the godly woman, surrounding, remind you, awaken you, set your mind in spirit. May God also teach you not be the Nabal if you are a wealthy man. Do not practice deceitfulness, dishonesty. Instead, honor the Lord, fear of the Lord, practice cheerful giving when you are rich. Remember, God give, God also take away. Nabal's result, be struck by the Lord and die in the stroke and heart disease and heart attack. He became stone. And look at the woman. Do not neglect the voice of a woman, a godly woman and wife. Regardless, man and woman, God honor and reward individual and the deeds. Abigail is a wise and intelligent woman and godly. She knew the Lord and she practiced cheerful giving. In God's eyesight, a woman played significant role in this historical event. If not because Abigail, Nabal and his servant all were killed by the Dave with 400 soldiers. If not because Abigail, Dave with 400 soldiers would blasted of innocence. This is unsung historical lesson in events. My friend, may this implication awaken you. Read again and again in Old Testament, New Testament. What indication, what the wisdom reminds you, apply into your life. Help us to live a peaceful life and please the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. That our wonderful Creator, our Yahweh, our Messiah, Christ, reign over our nation, our life.